Am I bringing out a video on Thursday? Am I about to talk about a new rumor that's been making the rounds regarding Xbox buying multiple new studios? You better believe I am, because it's E3 week and the hype levels are pretty high right now, especially when it comes to Xbox. So let's get into this pretty amazing rumor when it comes to Xbox and buying a new studio and even a new publisher. Let's get into it. Hey everyone, thanks for stopping by and checking out the video. Remember to hit that subscribe button and that like button. The support is greatly appreciated. And if you want to be notified on new videos that come in the future, hit that bell icon. It helps out the channel a bunch. But enough of that, let's get into this new studio rumor that's been catching a lot of fire, which is that there's a rumor that Xbox has acquired Avalanche Studio Groups, or is in the workings of getting them, who are pretty well known around the gaming world. They've worked with multiple publishers and tend to release huge AAA games at least once a year, if not every 2 or 3 years. Not to mention they have 3 studios under the Avalanche Studios Group. And seeing how Xbox and Phil Spencer have talked about adding new studios to the already 23 studios that Xbox has, it's not out of the question that Avalanche might be a publisher / studios that Xbox is targeting to get done before E3. And after what we've been hearing about E3 showing for Xbox, I wouldn't be surprised if Avalanche was a studio that Xbox was targeting, especially when you put everything that's being said from multiple insiders and everybody that's in the gaming world, and even Avalanche job listings are saying. Here's a job listing on Avalanche's website that is asking for an Xbox-centric programmer. Here's what's said on the website and what we should expect from the studio. The position: Avalanche Studios Group and its creative division, Systemic Reaction, is looking for an Xbox specialist / system programmer to work on an unannounced title being developed in Stockholm. At Avalanche Studios Group, you will work with some of the industry's most exciting technology and talented individuals. We have a solid reputation for producing fantastic looking open world games, and this is a great opportunity if you want to play an instrumental role on developing our next generation games or engine. You will be a part of a team responsible for designing, developing, and maintaining many aspects of the game or core engine tech, such as streaming, threading, memory management, and lower level platform specific technology. Okay, so the most telling part of this job is of course the fact they want someone that's specialized in the Xbox ecosystem. Now of course this would mean that they're obviously putting their games on the Xbox platform like they've done before. And if we look at the history that Avalanche has done, they brought out Mad Max, which is one of the best movie to video game adaptations I've ever played. They also worked with Bethesda and ZeniMax on Rage 2, which again was an amazing open world game that I truly loved. It was like a Doom Light, but in open world form. And if people remember, in Rage 2 and Mad Max, there was a lot of driving and vehicle combat in those games, with armor plates coming off cars and crazy explosions. That was all Avalanche and the tech they created from their third-party studio. That focus on the third-party aspect of gaming, like this video from Avalanche talks about right here.
So at Avalanche, we have 3 different divisions. We have the AAA division that's working with publishers to kind of advance our tech and do kind of next generation experiences. We have a self-publishing division, which is working to kind of create amazing new ideas and kind of expand our AAA tech into like a AA world. And then we have Expansive Worlds, which is basically the leader in outdoors video games right now.
So as you can see right there, they have 3 studios that produce a lot of games, but most of all, they share technology with each other. It's a team environment and collaboration between the entire studio across the board. But the best part about this is that they've worked with multiple publishers and have experience from so many different people in the industry. That to me is what Xbox and every publisher would value from a new acquisition, is that they've worked with WB when they were making Mad Max and were making AAA games. They worked with Bethesda Softworks to make Rage 2 and id Tech, and again worked with talented people to bring out huge games. And them having 3 studios making AAA games, AA games, and of course other smaller niche games shows that they can bring out games in a timely manner, which is something they might be doing for Xbox from now on. If we remember months ago, Clobrio, who's a very known insider, put out some tweets talking about this studio and how they could be working on a new multiplayer AAA game that's open world for Xbox. Here's what the tweet has to say. Just some speculation, Avalanche Studios is looking for an Xbox specialist as system programmer to work on an unannounced title being developed in Stockholm. This position exists for their Liverpool and Stockholm studios. Looking at other positions for the Avalanche Stockholm studio, they are working on an unannounced open world AAA multiplayer game. I'm likely connecting dots I should not, but my first thought was finding from November 2020 related to Xbox Game Studios Publishing. It seems like Xbox Game Studios Publishing is working on an exciting new AAA open world title yet to be announced. As you can see right here, this is probably an open world AAA game that is going to be a multiplayer centric game. Now, of course, these tweets are months old, so Clobrier was onto something back then. Now, the first thing I want to mention is that they're putting job listings in public like they are on their website. It's obvious that the game might be farther along than we all thought. And this game is going to probably be something that we see at E3, which I'm all for. I love multiplayer games, and I love when a new IP focuses on multiplayer. Sea of Thieves is a game that a lot of people hated on, but I love the multiplayer aspect of the game, and I enjoyed the different scenarios we got from the game. It was like creating my own story in a game without having somebody tell me what to do. That's what I hope Avalanche is working on, something that really gives us gamers new experiences that we can create on our own. Now, of course, this is all rumor, but from everything we've been hearing from multiple insiders, this is obviously the Typhoon game that people were talking about for months and months. Avalanche is a very talented team that's released some of the most fun games I've played in a long time. Is Just Cause 4 a polished game that everyone said would win awards? No, but it's a fun game that's just crazy to play. That's the type of games I believe Avalanche makes. After playing Mad Max and Rage 2, I have to say they create some of the best gaming experiences I've had in a little while. And it's not games I really expected to grab my attention like they did, especially Mad Max and Rage 2. Those games came out of nowhere and they turned into some of my favorite experiences of the year they came out. So what does this all mean for Xbox and if they're going to buy them? Well, I have a feeling that that might happen and it might be announced at E3 this year. I say that because a lot of people have been talking about Xbox and announcing new studios at E3. And most people for months were saying that it's going to be a smaller show and maybe smaller studios that are on the level of Double Fine, where they can make smaller titles for Xbox and work on cool little games. But for the last couple of days, people have been changing their tune and saying that Xbox is going to have a bigger E3, something that we should all be excited about for not only the games, but for the announcements that are coming regarding Xbox and Xbox Game Studios. And I always think back to last year and the events that Xbox had in 2020. If we all remember, Xbox made announcements before the show to say that these events will focus only on games and not the business. So everyone expected to see games, and more games, which is something that we got. No studios were announced until Bethesda, which was in late September, in its own event and its own announcement. So when we look at this year, Xbox has been extremely quiet and hasn't said anything. So for me, I believe that everything is on the table and we will get to see a lot of things getting announced at E3. So yes, I think we'll get a new studio announcement and multiple new studio announcements. I believe we'll get new games announced, especially games from third-party developers, much like Avalanche Studios, who in turn can join Xbox Game Studios as a first-party developer. And seeing how they've published games themselves, worked with publishers themselves, and created AAA, AA, and all sorts of games themselves, I believe they're a strong candidate to join Xbox, which would put Xbox at 27 studios with so many AAA developers under their belt. That to me is something I can see happening. Now, of course, this should be taken with a grain of salt, especially since nothing is confirmed and we don't know what's going to be shown at E3, because right now everything is fluid and everything regarding E3 is still being decided. But expect huge games, small games, studios, and of course new Xbox Game Pass games on the service. Either way, I can't wait for E3, and I'm going to make a huge video on Friday that will go into every single game studio rumor for Xbox's event. The hype for E3 is real, and as not only an Xbox gamer, but a gamer in general, it's the most exciting time for us gamers because we get to see all the new games, all the new tech, and everything that we'll be able to play in the next couple of years. But enough of what I think, tell me what you think about all of this. Do you think Avalanche Game Studios is going to be acquired by Xbox? What is the new AAA game they're making for Xbox? Are you excited to see what they're making? Will Xbox have another studio like Crytek front and center? Is Xbox going to announce Avalanche and even more studios on top of that? Go down below and let me know. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please hit that subscribe button and that like button. The support helps out the channel more than you know. And give me a follow on Twitter at Zalker87. I'm always on there talking games and sharing my latest videos. Plus, I love interacting with everyone there, so get on Twitter and let's talk about gaming. Also, follow me on Xbox Live. My gamertag is Zalker87, just like my channel name. See what games I'm playing, and let's compete in achievements for the month. So right now, I'm just kind of waiting for Ratchet Clank. I beat Warhammer Chaos Bane. That game is so much fun. Diablo-esque game, really cool graphics. It has a Series X patch. Make sure you buy the Series X version if you want to play it with those enhancements. Plus, I've been playing Assassin's Creed. I've been playing Rocket League. I've been playing Battlefield 5. I've just been playing a lot of games. There's so many games out there, and I'm so excited to play them. And I'm especially excited to play Ratchet Clank. And I can't wait for Dark Alliance. That game looks insane. That new game coming out next week or in 2 weeks for Xbox Game Pass, I'm hyped for that also. But let me know what you're playing. Are you playing something on your PS5, your Xbox Series X, or are you on your PC playing something? Let me know down below, because there's so many games out there and I'm having fun with a lot of them. And that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and until next time, remember, enjoy your gaming. Later.